Today we're going to talk about how Lightroom and Photoshop complement each other to create a powerful and efficient workflow for photography. We're making this video so you know how they work together and what the differences are between the two. So let's start by describing each program. Lightroom Classic is an application that recreates the workflow of analog photography. Back then, we used the darkroom. Now we use Lightroom. It lets you import, catalog, tag, cull, develop, export, and print your images, all while remaining non-destructive, kind of like treating your files as negatives. For me, as a photographer, Lightroom is the start and end for any project I have taken on. And what is Photoshop? It's so ubiquitous that it has become a verb. We say, "This looks photoshopped. Could you Photoshop this for me?" And so on. It is a raster or pixel-based editing software that is used for adjusting, editing, compositing, manipulating, 3D, video, text, even web design. It's a massive program that's used across disciplines and used for even more than what I described. So, when do I use Photoshop and when do I use Lightroom Classic? The short answer is start with Lightroom and move to Photoshop when Lightroom can no longer meet your needs. But let's break the process down a little bit. As I said, you'll start with Lightroom, and this helps you establish a workflow and be organized. It's your file management. So start by importing to your Lightroom library, and then use it to quickly decide which images you will edit by tagging, rating, and creating collections. Once you've culled down your images and decided which ones you will keep and edit, switch to the develop mode and use the camera raw adjustments to make your images great. Again, these adjustments are non-destructive and available for non-RAW files as well. At this point, I'd like to mention that Lightroom is amazing for working with batches. You can select multiple images and auto-sync them, and it will adjust them all at the same time. You can also copy the edits from one image and paste them to another, or even create your own presets to apply adjustments with the click of a button. Once you've done your global adjustments using all the camera raw features, you can also do local adjustments, which will adjust a specific part of your image. And the local adjustment tools are the graduated filter, the adjustment brush, and the radial filter. You can also do simple retouching by using the spot removal tool to quickly clean up unwanted parts of the image. At this point, you might be done and ready to export, or you've reached your limit with Lightroom and need to move to Photoshop, which is seamlessly integrated. Here you can see me sending an image from Lightroom to Photoshop. And we live in Photoshop to do more precise and complex editing. I can use the layers, selection tools, and content-aware fill to get the job done. Photoshop is also amazing for combining multiple images into a seamless composition. In addition to layers, you can use blend modes, opacity, and an array of filters to combine your images. This part of the demonstration is shorter because we're demonstrating the workflow between the two applications. A lot of what we just did in Lightroom, you can also do in Photoshop, but only one image at a time, and not always non-destructively unless you are making sure. After I've done these edits, I can press Command or Control S or go File and Save, and the really wonderful thing is it will end up back in Lightroom right next to my original as a PSD or TIFF file depending on your settings. Okay, this was just a quick look at creating an effective photography workflow using Lightroom and Photoshop. Check out our other videos to dig deeper into each program and other Adobe programs. I hope this helps, and be sure to contact us at adobe.arizona.edu for anything you may need that is Creative Cloud related.